the people that stand up to do the right thing in our conversations with each other, things that happen in our neighborhoods, things that we talk about, and it's up to each of us to try and make things a little bit more noble in this country, and I know each of you are doing that by being here tonight, so thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to bid.
Keep bidding. It ain't over yet. That was a quick intermission.
We're here at the Westbury Manor for the Holocaust fundraiser event, and we're actually introducing our buffalo egg rolls, the new item on our new menu that we have.
Event. And I'd like, first thing, with all my fellow board members, please stand up so you can be recognized. You know, this event comes just a few days after Yom HaShoah, that's Holocaust Remembrance Day. We teach the lessons of the Holocaust, and that lesson is, don't be a bystander. And we're not just talking about anti-Semitic incidents, we're talking about the slaughter of all those Muslims in New Zealand. We're talking about the massacre in the churches in Sri Lanka. We're talking about the incidents all around this country against Muslims, Jews, Latinos, gays, lesbians, African Americans. And we're teaching our people, we're teaching young people on Long Island, which is becoming such a diverse community. And we need to get along, we need to respect each other, we just need to stand up when we see any kind of incidents of intolerance and hate. And tonight I am very, very deeply honored. We had an opportunity to hear from Congressman Tom Suozzi. We have with us tonight two very, very important people who lead us in the fight against hate crimes and intolerance. And I'd first like to introduce the District Attorney of Nassau County, the Honorable Madeline Singers.
Good evening, everyone. It really is my honor to be here tonight and to share this evening with you. It's such important work that gets done every single day at the center, but also the difference that all of you make. Sometimes our biggest movements start with our youngest people. So anything that we did in this country that was of note, whether it was a women's movement or a civil rights movement, began with our young people. So the fact that we're recognizing young people today for having the courage to stand up to discrimination, for being vulnerable enough to say, you know what, I'm gonna set myself aside and say, I'm not gonna tolerate this. I will do something, and doing that when you're in high school or in middle school is so tremendous an achievement. It really speaks so much to your character. So of course we're here to celebrate all of you, but also to recognize that we have a lot of work to do in this country. So it's our job at the District Attorney's Office to make sure that we're educating our youth and we're holding people accountable. That doesn't mean we're throwing people in jail, but it means we're asking them to do community service, to be educated, to speak to Holocaust survivors, to talk to people who are gay or lesbian, to understand and educate. That's part of our role, because both Tim and I are into crime prevention. Honestly, thank you so much for all of your support to this tremendous organization. And again, for every act of kindness, and especially to the young people. That's what I say. People say, what can I do, what can I do? And I just say, just do something. Just be kind to someone. One act of kindness a day will bring us a lot further along. So thank you for having me.
From Suffolk County, Tim Singh.
It's a real pleasure and honor to be here. I want to thank the center for inviting me. I want to congratulate the students who are being honored today and essentially just echo Steve and Madeline's comments. As the saying goes, bad things happen when good people do nothing. And that's what today's all about, honoring those students who stepped up and did the right thing under difficult circumstances. It's hard enough as an adult to stand up to difficult situations. It's even more difficult when you're a high school student. We know that from experience. And Madeline and I stand together in our fight against hate crime, hate incidents. And I want to echo Madeline's comments about prevention. A big part of our role is to educate. This day and age, when we live in a world where words matter, they get around quickly, and they can do incredible harm. So we need to continue to stand together and stand against hate. And I want to again congratulate the students for the excellent work that they are being recognized for, and thank the center for inviting me to be here today. Thank you.
With that, I'd now like to call up our Director of Youth Education, Helen Turner, and Irene Klein from the Clare Free Lender Foundation.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here tonight to celebrate the work of the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center of Nassau County, the Clare Freelander Family Foundation, and our amazing 2019 Clare Freelander Upstanders, right here in the first row. The Clare Freelander Family Foundation was established by Clare Freelander upon her passing several years ago. Claire emigrated from war-torn Poland in 1949 after losing many of her family and friends to the horrors of the Holocaust. The Clare Freelander Family Foundation is a longtime supporter of HMTC and the creator and funder of this very award, the Freelander Upstander Award. This is our 9th year, can't even believe it, 9 years of doing this, recognizing Long Island students who are making a difference in their schools and communities, and the timing could not be more significant to discuss Holocaust education and the importance of education and inspiring young people to become upstanders. Helen Turner, HMTC's Director of Youth Education, will now present the awards.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Irene. Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening. As Director of Youth Education, reading the Clare Freelander applications is truly one of the greatest parts of my job. I'm delighted to introduce you to these amazing young people who have inspired myself and I know our nominating committee. So this evening, ladies and gentlemen who are about to receive your awards, you're joining a class of incredible upstanders from across Long Island. You are amazing young people who are changing the world around you, and I'm delighted to present you with these awards. So our first award is going to go to Daniel O'Neill. Daniel's essay, Finding My True North, describes how Daniel, at great personal risk to his reputation, stood up to anti-Semitic remarks made by a fellow student at his school. In the face of intolerance and hateful remarks, Daniel offered to write a signed statement to what he witnessed, allowing himself to be identified by others for his upstander actions, but also opening himself up to extreme repercussions for speaking out against hate. Daniel is a wonderful example of putting aside concerns for ourselves in defense of others. Daniel, please join me in
Hello, my name is Daniel O'Neill, and I am extremely honored and proud to be accepting this award tonight. I was built on the belief system that you should always treat people the way you would want to be treated. My father, Tim O'Neill, taught me that you should always make sacrifices for your family, no matter the cost. But most importantly, my mother, Jennifer O'Neill, taught me to always stand up for what was right, even though you might get knocked down in the process. This lesson is the main reason why I stand here before you tonight. Life is full of experience, some great and some horrific. I was once bullied without that terrible experience, I wouldn't have the understanding of being silenced and put down. Each experience that I've had has changed me into the person I am becoming. I'm no hero, I'm no special case. I'm just a kid who wanted to change in the world and who wasn't going to sit on the sidelines any longer while an innocent kid was being bullied for his religion. All you need to make a difference in the world is a strong will, determination, and a striving want for change. There's no gift I can give to show my gratitude for this award and all the people that have earned it alongside me. All I can do and say is thank you, and I know that sometimes a thank you is worth more than anything.
In life, we sometimes encounter people who make us sit up and pay attention. Rachel is one such person. Rachel was a new student in her high school when she was the victim of anti-Semitic insults. In the wake of these hateful words, Rachel not only advocated for herself, but turned the moment into a teachable lesson for her entire grade. Rachel booked an HMTC program for her school discussing symbols of hate and hate speech, and then had the courage to introduce the assembly in front of all of her peers, some of whom had said the hateful words to her. She's a brave and courageous game changer who is the embodiment of an upstander. From the moment I met her, I knew that she would certainly be someone special, and I'm delighted to give this award to you.
Being an upstander is one of the hardest things you can ask a child to do. It means standing up for your peers and standing out from the crowd. But because so few people are willing to be an upstander, it becomes all the more important. I experienced intolerance from my peers because they thought I was Jewish. Although I am not, I took this discrimination seriously. I realized that my peers may not have had the same experiences that I did, and it was an opportunity for me to educate them on the impact of their actions on their peers and their community. The school was critical in helping me arrange an assembly for students and faculty to learn about all types of intolerance. Hopefully this showed my peers that while it can be hard to be an upstander, anyone can be one. I'm so appreciative of this award and the opportunities it will provide me to further my education, and I thank the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center of Nassau County and the Friedlander Foundation for making this possible. Thank you.
Chase wrote to us about a time she was invited to play with popular girls at school, but these girls wouldn't let Chase's friend play with them. In defense of her friend, Chase refused to play with the popular girls without her friend. She stood up in the moment and probably made a huge difference in this young person's life. Little acts of kindness like this add up to change the world. Chase, please come and accept your award.
Thank you to the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center, the Claire Friedlander Family Foundation, and the Nassau and Suffolk County Police Departments for this award. It is a great honor to be here tonight. Thank you to Deborah Track for nominating me for this award. You have been an amazing role model and deserve this award as much as I do. And thank you to my parents for teaching me to always do what's right, even when it isn't the easiest thing to do. In my bat mitzvah devar Torah, or sermon, I talked about how it is a commandment to treat everyone with respect, no matter where they come from or how different they are, and that there are consequences for not doing so. This award is really special because even though I always try to do the right thing, it's sometimes awkward and even painful to stand up and stand out. This award will always remind me of how important it is to be an upstander and not a bystander. There are not only consequences for treating people poorly, where there are rewards for treating people the right way. Rewards don't have to be big like a ceremony or scholarship or a trophy. They can be simple, like making a new friend, receiving a compliment, or even just hearing the words thank you. So once again, thank you.
HMTC, Alan and Joe.
Not so far.
Thank you so much. Luckily, we've got a lot more prominent people than me, so we're in pretty good shape. All of you here, you make the center what it is. We educate thousands of kids every year. We educate first responders all over Long Island. We educate troubled youth, adults. We teach them. We show them the history. and we try to teach them to stand up for what's right. And tonight, like in years past, we have incredibly inspirational and great kids here. Please give them another round of applause. But tonight I have to practice what we preach. I have to stand up. And not in the way that it's easy, but sometimes in ways that it's hard.
My goal isn't to bring you down. My goal is to make you stand up. Because if you don't stand up, no one will stand up for you. I beg you tonight, think of it. God bless you, and God bless these United States of America. Thank you so much.